welcome back to my channel. On my 2025 crochet goals list, one of my biggest things that I wanted to focus on this year was crochet wearables. I have dabbled in it over the last year but never actually finished a project and didn't do that much. This year I want to change that. This year I want to work on lots more crochet wearable pieces. So I thought, why not do a little bit of research, search the wide web and try and find you some free crochet patterns for crochet jumpers. I found some really lovely examples. All these patterns are free. I will share with you the pattern designer and I will also put the link for all of the patterns in the description box below so that you can go and create some of these wonderful patterns. The patterns that I found for you, there are so many wonderful free patterns available for you out there. So I am just touching the surface, but I found 20 that I really liked the look of, so I thought I would share them with you. If you are new to my channel, hi, thank you for joining me. My name is Amy and on this page we talk all things crafting, from crochet, sewing, yarn hauls, tips, tricks and everything in between. If you are not new and you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for clicking and joining me for another video. Okay, let's just crack on because we have got 20 crochet patterns for jumpers / cardigans that I want to share with you. I've got my laptop here with all the patterns saved on, so I'm literally just going to go through them all. I will share a photo of the pattern with you along with the pattern designer. So first up we have got this cropped cardigan. I will pop a little photo up here for you. I really like the simplicity of this pattern. I think if you are new to crochet wearables and it's your first kind of project trying to create an item of clothing, I think this would be a really good example to give a go. It looks like they've just used one single colour. You could do that, or you could also have the option of changing the colours after several rows, but really nice. I love the cuff sleeves. I love how it's cropped, so this is a great free pattern. Up next, and sticking on the chunky theme, we have got this chunky jumper. Again, a relatively simple pattern. I think chunky, if you are a beginner crochet, especially in the world of crochet wearables, is a really wise decision. Chunky yarn is just naturally easier to use, so therefore I think it would help you in these projects. But this is a lovely chunky, and you could almost make this oversized as well. So this looks somewhat cropped, but you could also make it oversized, lovely for this time of year and the transition between winter and spring. So as you can probably tell, we're on our third, and this is our third chunky cardigan pattern that I want to share with you. This is now no longer a cropped, and as you can see from the photo, this is a long cardigan. This is amazing because you can adjust this pattern to suit your size and your height. I'm relatively tall, I'm 5'8", so I would obviously need a longer cardigan than someone that's 5'4", for example. So you could probably adjust this. I imagine this will use quite a lot of yarn, but I really love the colour that this designer has picked. I really love that reddy, purpley kind of tone. And again, you don't have to stick to a single coloured yarn. You could use a ombre yarn, or you can change your yarn after each round. But this is a really lovely, chunky, oversized, long, cosy cardigan pattern, and I really like it. Next up, this is probably one of my favourite patterns I will share with you. You'll probably hear me say that another 4 times in this video, but so far this is my favourite one, and it is this beige and navy striped jumper. I love a striped jumper anyway. Half my wardrobe is striped, but I really love this. It's really simple, really elegant, and again, you can mix up these colours. You could do a black base with a pink stripe, so it's completely versatile, and again, using chunky yarn and perfect for the transition between winter and spring. Okay, next we've got this really lovely multicoloured cardigan, which looks, I'm guessing, I haven't overly read the pattern, but by the looks of it, it's done in squares, single block coloured squares, and then those squares get joined together to create this gorgeous cardigan, and I really love it. Again, somewhat chunky, but you can of course adapt these patterns. Just because the designers use chunky yarn doesn't mean that that's the yarn that you have to use. You could even use cotton, but if you do use acrylic, which I would probably recommend for a wearable piece, if you're using it for like winter or like verging into spring, then acrylic would be the better yarn to use. But you could use a DK, you could use an Aran. You don't have to use a chunky yarn. That's completely your prerogative, and you can choose how you want to adapt it. But I love the style. I love that it's made up with single blocks, and I think you can get really creative with this pattern. Next up is this free pattern from Lovecrafts. So if you are looking for free patterns, Hobby, Lovecrafts, or Warehouse, all of them do provide free crochet patterns. Just go and have a little look on their website. There's loads available. So this pattern is from Lovecrafts, and it is this really lovely coloured jumper. Almost the chevron stitch, got the waves in it, and again, so versatile to do whatever colour scheme you might possibly want to do for this jumper. I do think this is the type of pattern where you are going to need to use more than one colour to be able to get that full effect of the jumper. But again, versatile, whether you want it cropped, longer, wide sleeves, thin sleeves. I'm sure there's the option to adapt it to suit what you would like. And then we've got this other pattern from Lovecrafts. I love this rainbow pattern. I think this would be really cute to make for a child or a teenager. You could have so much fun with this pattern. Very similar to the last one, but this will be straight stripes and completely different color palette, and it looks amazing. The next few patterns, I think 3, are from the crochet designer Hey Hey Crochet. I absolutely love this crochet designer. She's probably one of my favorites. I will put the link below to her website. She's got loads of free crochet patterns, not just wearables, all sorts of different items on there for free, and tutorials I believe that she does over on YouTube. So really helpful as a crochet beginner or a crocheter that needs video tutorials to go alongside to support and help them in the process. But first up from her website and patterns that she's got is this colourful jumper. I've actually started to make this last year. It's in my whip pile, I haven't quite finished, but it's really simple to work on. And again, as per all these other patterns that I'm sharing with you, completely versatile. She's got hers quite cropped with wide sleeves, but you can make the sleeves thinner, you can make the jumper longer, but it's a really nice simple pattern as a crochet beginner to give a go for your very first wearable item. And then also on Hey Hey Crochet, she's got this one. This is so cute, so sweet. I love the single colour of this. It's quite block coloured, and I love this pink. It's gorgeous and perfect for the summer months, spring months, if you are going on holiday and just want something to chuck over your costume, or if you're going to and from the beach. I think this is perfect. And I would also assume that this one probably works up quite quickly. So if you're the type of crocheter that likes quick projects, but still want to delve into the world of wearables, then this could potentially be the perfect pattern for you. The final pattern from Hey Hey Crochet is this incredible granny square pattern. I love this. Potentially is one that I will give a go. My assumption is that it's just one big granny square on the front, one big granny square on the back, and then little granny squares to make up the sleeves. You would make these all as separate pieces, and then you would form it all together. And actually might be a nice project to work on. I think it would take time, but it could be something that you pick up and put down and work on other things in between, because you are just essentially making granny squares. So if you are relatively new to crochet, but you have mastered the granny square, then there is no reason why you cannot make this jumper. So again, could be the perfect project to pick up and give a go. Okay, now we have got this really lovely cream chunky long style cardigan. Again, I think this pattern could also be adapted to use a different type of yarn, so it is thinner, so not quite as chunky. Or again, if you want to make chunky, then I believe this pattern also provides you with the information of what yarn the creator has used. Really love this, really simple, and I think this would be a staple in your wardrobe if you like wearing your crochet creations. Okay, now I've had a little look at the Hobby website, and they have a range of free patterns available, especially for wearable. First up, we have got this jumper. I love this. If you zoom in on the pattern, you'll see how intricate it is. There's so many different stitches used in this pattern, and it gives a really, really lovely effect. And I think especially when you chuck in all the different colour options, it really makes those different stitches pop out. And I also think, I don't know whether I'm the only one who thinks this, but I can get quite bored of tedious crochet. Sometimes it's exactly what I need. I stick on my telly and I just crochet away. But other times I like to be kept interested in what I'm working on. And this would be the perfect project for that, where all the stitches in each row are probably slightly different. I'm sure there are repeat rows, but you're always working with different stitches. So therefore will keep you interested and it won't allow you to get bored of it. And it won't end up in that whip pile, which we all have somewhere in a corner of the room, because I know I've got plenty of whips that need to be finished. So I really love this pattern. I think it's a great design and would look super cool going into the spring months. Okay, next up we've got this turtleneck jumper, also from Hobby. I think this one's probably worked slightly different to the other patterns. I've not read the pattern, but my guess would be it's probably worked from the neck down all in one piece. The only projects I've ever worked on for wearables are made in sections and then you put it together. Whereas this, I think you're probably just working on the jumper from start to finish, starting at the neck and moving yourself down the body. I've not dabbled in those kind of things yet. I know my mother-in-law has, and I think she said it's a little bit more difficult. However, give it a whirl. This is really nice, this pattern. It's completely different to the other ones I've shared with you. I like the design. I do think this one may be slightly trickier than potentially the other patterns I have shared with you. Okay, next up, if you want to be super organised and you want to be prepared for winter this year, then this gives me holiday vibes. This gives me Christmas vibes. I love the colours. But you don't have to have it for the Christmas period. You can adapt this if you change the colours, made it brighter colours, then it could be used all year round. I really love the pattern design on the neckline and it just adds something to the jumper. I think this is probably going to be, again, a little bit more difficult, but this pattern is from the Hobby website, so it will give you full details of all the particular yarn that they've used. So that may make everything a little bit easier because you can just follow it to a T. But yeah, a really lovely pattern. And the final pattern I have to share with you is this jumper. I absolutely love this one. I've actually got loads of jumpers in my wardrobes that I've bought from high street stalls that look exactly like this. So this could be one that I decide to create. I would say that I think the yarn that they've probably used is like an ombre tweed based kind of yarn, and they haven't just changed yarns on each round. I think this is probably just a ball of yarn that they have used, which has given it this effect. This pattern again is from Hobby, so therefore I think that the yarn will be available to purchase from Hobby as well. But I really love this one. It's really cool. I think this would stay in fashion. It would never leave. And again, you could do thinner yarn, thicker yarn, just depending on what you would like. That is all the patterns that I've found to share with you today. Lots of options if you are wanting to get into creating clothes, wearables, and you want a starting project. These range from beginner friendly to a little bit more intricate and a little bit more difficult. Again, please remember that just because a pattern says a particular yarn, you don't have to use that yarn. They'll all be completely adaptable to your preference. So I don't like working with DK yarn. I much prefer Aran and thicker. So therefore, if a pattern was DK, I could totally adapt that and use a different type yarn. Also, colours are completely your choice. You can change patterns, you can change the colours that you use. Really hope that you found this video interesting. I hope it's inspired you for your next crochet wearable project. If you make any of them, please share with me. I would love to see them. Just a reminder, I will put all the pattern information in the description below with a link to the website where I found the pattern and full details of the pattern designer as well. If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe button to be notified of any future uploads. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video.